Hi, I'm Steve Schweitzer. I love to bicycle with my pup Ghost here. So when I read about a couple who took their rescued pup Tiva on a restorative bike adventure, I knew I had to do the story. Through the wonders of the internet, I caught up with the author at his home near Seattle, Washington.
Meet Tiva. She's a Formosan mountain dog, rescued from Taiwan. You'd never know it now, but Tiva wasn't always so calm.
So you get her home, but she wasn't quite what you had in mind.
Right. We had ourselves a very, very fearful dog, and fearful to the extreme. It took us 2 months to walk her one city block.
You also can't tell from this loving portrait, but a dog wasn't really on adventure cyclist Willie Weir's bucket list. It's an idea that came to his wife, Kat, while on one of their international bike trips.
Kat announced, she said, when we get home, I think I'm going to get a dog. And it's like, whoa, time out here. Okay. I complained and I begged and I groveled and we got a dog.
Those early days were tough on both dog and owner.
And we found out that Tiva had been rescued from a garbage dump. And all of a sudden, the fact that the first time a garbage truck went by our house, Tiva tried to dig herself into our hardwood floors, made a whole lot of sense.
That kind of terror demands a patient guardian. But Willie didn't always fit that bill.
And I remember being on a walk, and at one point, in frustration, I turned to Kat, and with venom that poured out of my mouth, I said, "You did this to me."
He immediately regretted those words of anger. With the aid of time, patience, and persistence, Tiva began to relax. After 3 months, they could actually get her into a car for a ride to the mountains.
She jumped out of that car, and her tail came straight up in that big kind of question mark. And she started doing what I call the hobby horse, just running with joy.
That's when Kat and Willie realized it might be possible to include Tiva on a bicycle expedition. Online research led them to the John Wayne Pioneer Trail near Seattle. At first, they'd only go a mile or two, but as Tiva's confidence grew, they started dreaming of riding the full 300 miles of that old rail trail. After careful preparation and lots of practice, the three musketeers set off on a beautiful May morning for a 9-day bicycling adventure. They hadn't gone far when they encountered their first major obstacle.
You're riding along and you come to the tunnel and you think, oh, this is going to be a big problem, and
we did learn when we got up to the pass that there was one thing that Tiva wasn't afraid of, and that was the dark. She had no problem. She literally just curled up and fell asleep in the trailer. She ran between 5 and 12 miles a day, and then the rest of the time was in the trailer. There were times we had to walk. There were times that we had to go through areas where it looks like nature's kind of taking over the trail. We really knew that we had made progress when somebody approached our tent and she barked, because that meant the tent was home.
Like his feelings about dog ownership, Willie wasn't sure about bike trails, but as the days rode by, he became a believer.
It was the wide open spaces. It was the small towns. We were treated so incredibly, with kindness from everybody we met. And, most people love a dog.
Along the ride, Willie also learned some lessons about himself.
See, Tiva didn't need to learn patience. I needed to learn patience.
And those words of anger he'd spat out 3 years ago, "You did this to me," they changed from a curse to a blessing.
Yeah, it's a delight. It's hard to think of life without that wonderful 42 pounds of dog love that we have. She's been great.
To learn more about the adventures of Willie, Kat, and Tiva, visit their website at willieweir.com. Be sure to check out the Where's Willie link. See if he's going to be speaking in your town. For Pet Pals TV, I'm Steve Schweitzer.